the situation in Hong Kong at the moment. The aim of the pro-democracy activists today was to bring the territory to a standstill. They are driving the call, those activists, for a general strike today. Many businesses have closed, while there is something approaching transport chaos there. Let's show you some pictures from the last hour. Police and protesters clashing in several locations, including here in Wong Tai Sin. Police have fired multiple rounds of tear gas at protesters. Objects are being thrown there as well. This is where it's all happening, right across Hong Kong. Peaceful sit-ins being held in districts such as Chang Wan, Tai Po and Sha Tin. We can go live now. Speak to our correspondent, Stephen McDonnell, who is in amongst it all. What's happening there at the moment, Steve?
Well, today, in connection with this strike all over Hong Kong, there's been a dramatic escalation in this conflict. It seems like this is going on all over the city. A moment ago, people were all crouching down because they've been firing a lot of tear gas this way. And to show you how dangerous this is, I just cupped this straight in the face from the police, some sort of, probably a tear gas canister or something, and now I've switched with one of my colleagues' masks. So for anybody watching this who's in this area, they should be very careful. It just shows there are projectiles going in all manner of directions, and especially when the police are sort of coming around to sometimes cut off the protesters from another angle, and you don't quite know where they're coming in from. But what sparked this is that further down that road is the police living quarters, and these protesters have gone there to protest outside those living quarters. Some had sprayed on the outside, but those who live in here are the mafia. This is obvious reference to these allegations, which the police have denied, that they are colluding with triad gangs. And you can imagine, of course, to the anger of the riot police, that's where their families live and the like, and to have people throwing bricks and what have you into the compounds where their families live has, of course, enraged them. And they came out very quickly to push all these protesters back to this area. Now, I should add that not all these protesters were, then we'll have a look at them as we go, were throwing bricks at that compound, but certainly some of them were. But the strategy today in connection with this strike has been to try and, well, shut down Hong Kong for a day. Flights in their hundreds have been delayed. The train system has at times come to a complete standstill. We've had all around the city, wherever you go, there are shutters pulled down on shops. Many businesses have closed. Many of their staff have said they're simply not coming to work in support for the strike, the pro-democracy strike. And we heard a little earlier from Carrie Lam, the chief executive of Hong Kong, saying that her government is going to return Hong Kong to its normal state of affairs, that they're going to crack down on this dissent, on these riots, as she described them. However, she gave no indication in that press conference as to how she intends to do it.
There are protests taking place right across Hong Kong, Steve, not just where you are, and some of them are peaceful too. Those protesters saying they're not leaving. But take us through again what it is they actually want.
So there's a series of demands. Be careful, we have one of these barricades coming through here as we're speaking. They're pushing barricades up to the front there from where to stop the police coming in. What they're calling for, well, they have a series of demands. For example, they want an independent inquiry into the police. They want to have democracy. They want to be able to vote for their leader here. They're saying they want those who've been arrested to be released. They want all of the Legislative Council to be elected rather than just half of it by the people. And at the moment, none of these demands are being met by the government. In fact, they've kind of ridiculed those demands. And today, Carrie Lam came out essentially blaming the protesters for all of this and hasn't acknowledged that there's any need for any of them, including the independent inquiry into the police. She said there's no need for that because the police have their own inquiry that they're having.
Steve, thanks so much for joining us. Take care there in Hong Kong. Let's just show you the live shot we have from another part of the city as well. Parts of Hong Kong do remain peaceful, but you can see there some tear gas in the air. Police firing it actually as we are looking at it. Those police clashing with pro-democracy protesters for a third straight day. And we've had responses from Carrie Lam, as Steve was saying, warning that Hong Kong, and remember it is a global financial hub, is nearing a very dangerous situation. And across Hong Kong today, a rare strike causing absolute transport chaos. Much of the city on lockdown. So we're keeping across this developing story for you, and we'll bring you the latest as it happens in Hong Kong.